In a decisive move to fortify Nigeria's security framework, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has announced a major reshuffle amongst the nation's service chiefs.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes.
Nigeria's power corridors have just been shaken to their core. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered the suspension of the nation's top military generals, including the Chief of Defense Staff, the Army Chief, the Air Chief, and the Naval Chief, in what officials are calling a strategic reshuffle. But behind the calm press release, panic is spreading fast. Sources inside the defense headquarters confirm this comes barely weeks after 16 senior officers were arrested, accused of plotting to overthrow the government. The alleged plan? A bloody coup attempt timed for Nigeria's Independence Day parade. The parade was abruptly canceled. The generals have been quietly replaced. And the president, who has spent the last few days behind closed doors with security advisors, now finds himself staring down the very nightmare haunting West Africa, which is the spread of military coups. From Mali to Burkina Faso to Niger, the pattern is frighteningly familiar. Whispers, arrests, denials, and then silence. The kind that comes before tanks roll. So Nigerians are asking one burning question: was this just a reshuffle, or did Tinubu narrowly escape a coup? In this video, let's find out. On the evening of October 4th, 2025, a quiet storm gathered around Aso Rock. Reports surfaced that 16 senior officers, including captains, colonels, and even a brigadier general, had been arrested for allegedly plotting to overthrow the government. According to intelligence briefings, the coup was meant to unfold during the October 1st Independence Day parade. Tanks were to roll through Abuja's main boulevard under the guise of ceremonial drills. What the public didn't know was that these very drills were allegedly part of a plot, one that could have ended in bloodshed and the seizure of the presidential palace. Hours after the arrests, Nigeria canceled its Independence Day parade for the first time in decades. The official reason was security concerns. But by then, every news outlet and WhatsApp group had the same story that there was a coup plot, and it almost succeeded. Inside the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, investigators worked around the clock. What they uncovered was chilling. Encrypted messages, travel plans, and intercepted calls pointing to a network of disillusioned officers. Their frustration, reports say, stemmed from career stagnation and ethnic imbalance in promotions under Tinubu's administration. The presidency initially denied everything, but the silence that followed spoke louder than words. And by Friday morning, President Tinubu made his move. In a televised address that caught even insiders off guard, President Tinubu announced a complete military leadership overhaul. His tone was calm, but his message unmistakable. No one is untouchable. He replaced General Christopher Musa, the Chief of Defense Staff, the same man who had been Tinubu's top military aide since his first months in office, with General Olufemi Oluyede, a Southern officer known for his loyalty and methodical discipline. Next, Major General W. Shaibu was named Chief of Army Staff, replacing General Taurid Lagbaja. Air Vice Marshal S.K. Aneke took over as Chief of Air Staff, while Rear Admiral Abbas became the new Chief of Naval Staff. Only one man survived the purge: Major General E.A.P. Undiendai, the Chief of Defense Intelligence, the very man whose department foiled the alleged coup. All appointments take immediate effect, Tinubu's spokesperson declared. Behind the brief statement lay something much deeper, a signal that the president was taking no chances. Analysts quickly interpreted the move as part of a broader security recalibration, but insiders described it more bluntly, as a preemptive strike to dismantle potential threats before they could gather momentum. Tinubu's message to his generals was as much about fear as it was about faith. In his own words, the new chiefs were tasked to justify the trust put in them and to strengthen the vigilance and professionalism of Nigeria's armed forces. but beneath the rhetoric was a warning every officer understood: loyalty or exile. The deeper question wasn't who replaced whom. It was why now. Nigeria, the continent's largest democracy, has been battling an array of security nightmares. In the northeast, Boko Haram and the Islamic State West Africa province continue to wage an unending insurgency. In the northwest, heavily armed bandits control vast swaths of rural land, kidnapping civilians and raiding villages at will. Meanwhile, the southeast faces rising separatist unrest, with the indigenous people of Biafra pushing for secession and staging increasingly defiant protests. The military, stretched thin across multiple fronts, had grown weary and disillusioned. Promotions stalled, logistics crumbled, and corruption flourished. Among the rank and file, murmurs of frustration grew louder. We fight everyone, but who fights for us? Then came the arrests. The 16 officers detained for issues of indiscipline, as the army cautiously phrased it, allegedly saw Tinubu as disconnected, a civilian president surrounded by businessmen and politicians who didn't understand the military sacrifices. Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black Africa. Let's continue now. A senior security source later revealed that the Defense Intelligence Agency had intercepted communications suggesting the officers planned to seize power in protest against corruption and political interference. If true, that made it not just a coup, but a rebellion of ideals. So when Tinubu reshuffled the armed forces, it wasn't just a personnel change, it was a survival move. Nigeria had seen how quickly governments in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger had fallen to discontent within their own armies. The president wasn't waiting for warning shots. He was disarming the threat before it could take shape. But interestingly, officially, the Nigerian government denied that a coup plot existed. The defense headquarters dismissed the media reports as false, malicious, and intended to sow panic. But even the denials sounded nervous. Analysts noted a pattern. In West Africa, every coup begins with denial. In Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, governments first dismissed reports of unrest, right until soldiers appeared on television, declaring themselves in charge. The parallels were impossible to ignore. In all three countries, military officers cited insecurity, corruption, and poor governance as their justification. Nigeria's conditions mirror those almost perfectly: widespread poverty, endemic graft, and a population losing faith in leadership. Adding to the tension were ethnic suspicions. General Oluyede, the new chief of defense staff, hails from Tinubu's home region in southwestern Nigeria. Critics say this could be an attempt to secure loyalty within the military command, a move that may stabilize the top ranks but deepen resentment among officers from other regions. Security expert Confidence McHarry from SBM Intelligence described the reshuffle as a preemptive way to take the wind out of coup plotters' sails. Others, like Senator Iroegbu, warned that the move signaled Tinubu's shift from fighting national threats to protecting his regime. As one anonymous defense official told journalists, when a president replaces all his generals at once, he's either cleaning house or bracing for war. And while the military drama unfolded behind closed doors, Nigeria's streets told a different story. Protests had erupted in Abuja over the continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu, the separatist leader of IPOB. Police fired tear gas and arrested dozens. At the same time, bandit attacks surged in the north, and insurgent raids destroyed villages near Borno. To ordinary Nigerians, the coup rumors were less about politics and more about exhaustion. Food prices were skyrocketing, unemployment was rising, and the naira was collapsing. Whether or not a coup was real, it symbolized something the people already felt: that the system was reaching its breaking point. When news broke that the U.S. had approved $346 million worth of arms sales to Nigeria earlier in the year, many questioned where those weapons were going: to fight insurgents or to tighten internal control. Tinubu's administration called it national defense, but critics saw a regime arming itself against its own future. In cafes and radio shows, Nigerians whispered the same thing. It's not just a shakeup. It's feared Tinubu's shakeup achieved one thing. It reasserted control, at least temporarily. The new military chiefs, loyalists with clean public records, have already pledged to defend democracy and the Constitution. But beneath those pledges lies the same question every Nigerian asks in private. What happens if loyalty is tested again? In modern Nigerian politics, the line between patriotism and ambition is razor thin. Every officer who has ever led a coup in Nigeria once swore the same oath to protect it. What changes that oath isn't ideology, it's desperation. And that's what makes this moment fragile. Tinubu may have prevented a coup today, but the deeper fractures in the economy, the military, and public trust remain untouched. Each reshuffle buys him time, but not safety. Each denial calms headlines, but not hearts. For now, Abuja is calm in that eerie, fragile way that follows a storm, but doesn't end it. The streets look orderly, the headlines sound reassuring, but in the barracks, the silence is heavier than peace. Soldiers eat in mess halls with eyes fixed on the ground, whispers traveling faster than orders. The replacement of generals might have reshaped the hierarchy on paper, but it has done little to mend the cracks running through the ranks. Because a military isn't made of stars and medals. It's made of men who bleed, fight, and wonder if their sacrifices still mean anything. Many of these soldiers watch their commanders fall overnight, branded as failures or conspirators. They know that loyalty doesn't guarantee protection, and obedience no longer promises honor. The resentment that once simmered at the top has trickled downward to the barracks, the checkpoints, the field posts. The disillusionment that replaced discipline is far more dangerous than mutiny because it's silent. Tinubu can swap generals, but not the hearts of the men who carry their rifles. The real threat now isn't in a plotted coup. It's in a force that's lost its faith in what it serves. What do you think? Were military chiefs in Nigeria preparing for a coup, which Bola Tinubu felt, and instantly ordered their suspension? Do you feel he can avoid the coup by replacing the military's top brass? In the comment section, share your thoughts on whether changing military chiefs would do the job, given that the military itself was ready for the coup. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring videos on Black Africa, its history, rich arts and culture, and things the world should know about. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.